Hello, 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 hello. We are back in the fold after a brief hiatus, little getaway time to kind of relax ourselves, to hit back on the grind. And plus, the NFL and college football got the sports world by the balls right now. So, we let the NFL and football get their shine. But we are back in the fold here tonight on Sunday, September the 17th on IA Sports Radio. Tonight, we begin our NBA season preview series with the Southeast Division. Can the Miami Heat return to the NBA Finals? Can they make a trade for Damian Lillard? Can the Orlando Magic take the next step as a young core? What did the Atlanta Hawks do with Chris Stoddard in the fold as a full-year head coach? What do the Washington Wizards do after trading Bradley Beal? And plus, are the Charlotte Hornets positioned as the worst team in the NBA? Plus, we had fortunately talk about the Kevin Porter situation and talk about the NBA star limit dressing room. We'll discuss that and much more here live on IA Sports Radio. You're the Rick for all in sports, and you're welcome to join us. And thank you for tuning in with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're in here tonight. Lots to talk about, lots to get into. I see the guys in the chat in here talking, buzzing right now. Shout out to Larry B, the founder, in the chat. Shout out to Adam Carnett in the chat as well. Yes, this guy got eliminated. I had that pad. I think Las Vegas ain't waiting no time. I think, we're just kind of just waiting for the matchup between the Liberty and the Aces. That should go at least 5 games. But we'll discuss the WNBA here in a little bit. But D-Lock, how you doing tonight, sir? Back on the airwaves.
What is going on? Everything has been going pretty well, man. Been gone for a little bit, so I'm super excited to get back and get ready for the NBA season that's coming up very soon. NBA 2K just dropped as well, so I'm pretty sure a lot of NBA fans have already been on the game big time.
Yes, 2K on the shelves. If you're a person that buys that when it release, I kind of wait a little bit when it goes on sale. All that good stuff right there. So 2K's back, NFL in full swing, baseball winding down, hockey's about to get started here soon. So lots to talk about here tonight. I hate to talk about this situation, D-Lock. It's very troubling, very concerning, and I hope, we'll see what happens in this situation. But one Kevin Porter, who plays for the Houston Rockets, recently got some trouble this past week. That trouble was that and if you got kids listening to this, you could skip ahead this section. This is our first segment, so at least skip ahead at least 10 minutes or so. But anyways, Kevin Porter has been alleged to beating his girlfriend, WNBA player. I don't know if she's a current player. but allegedly beating, assaulting his girlfriend, uh, Paris Zekrit, if I pronounced that correctly. According to reports, D-Lock, they were in New York. They were, Porter was out. She was in the hotel room. She wouldn't let Porter in. Porter got the hotel security to get her in. And then, once he got in the room, he proceeds to beat her to the point that she has broken bones, bruising. They said potentially fractured her back. So yeah, a lot going on there. D-Lock, when we saw this report going on, being reported, and it seemed like each day, it seemed like each report comes out was worse than the last one we heard about. What are your thoughts on this situation, and do you foresee Kevin Porter playing another NBA game again?
Well, this is probably one of the most disturbing things I've uh, heard. Um, we all have family members, cousins or nieces, um, maybe little sisters, aunties, mothers. And first, that is something that is terrible to hear, and just very, 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 very disturbing. Um, I I think that this is something that will forever be with Kevin Porter for his whole life. Um, him putting his hands on a woman, uh, physically abusing her. So I just definitely discussed about all of this. Um, definitely don't see. Obviously, I believe. I think I did see a tweet that said the Rockets were waiving him, but then they proceeded to say they were going to try to trade him. So um, I believe he ruined his career. This is going to be something that will be with him forever. Any team he goes to, no matter if it's in the NBA or in a different league somewhere, this is something that will be talked about. So as far as him playing in the NBA, I doubt that happens. Knowing the fan base that the NBA has, they no team is definitely not going to want to have somebody that has done this on their team. So, for one, obviously, Rockets are trying to find their best way to move him. They just need to release him or waive him because I don't think that they will find a team to trade for him.
You mentioned, like, I think any of us in chat, Adam. I don't know if you. I know you have a son, but I don't know if you have any daughters. And Larry, I know. I mean, I don't know. You don't. I mean, you got your mother, your wife. And I don't know about nieces and nephews for your family, but you mentioned that. Then I got a 1.5-year-old little girl, and we talk off air sometimes, stuff like that. I'll tell you, like, work with some of these kids and stuff like that in my spare time. Is like, Some of these kids are wild. We talk about the generation Afros, and this is where kind of like Kevin Porter was at. And Kevin Porter is a guy that has been given chance after chance after chance to be a model citizen in his basketball playing time, even dating back to college. Talented guard. Nobody's going to deny that. But it seems like he gets in his own way how he goes about his business. And this right here probably brought the straw that brought the camel's back. And, you know, you allude to the Rockets trying to trade him. Like, who are going to try to take that contract? I mean, I know it's non-guaranteed and they put provisions in that contract, but still. I said on X or Twitter, Houston, that guy take that L. No, I don't care how many second round picks you got to throw in. You might have to throw in like a first or something. But you're not going to trade that contract. You're not, nobody's going to touch that dude. I posted from our Twitter account on Fastbreaker IESR about like Miles Bridges and stuff like that and that situation. And some, you know, when I say, granted, he didn't have no contract. He was a restricted free agent, but he lost out on a year's worth of salary because of his domestic situation. Now he's back with Charlotte and all that stuff. You know, playing like basically on a 1-year prove-it deal. But he lost money. And for Kevin, the behavioral stuff, if y'all go look at his history, it's very, I won't say disturbing, but it's just like, if you look at his history, it kind of got up to, it would kind of lead up to a point like this. Not like him being a woman, but possibly fighting a teammate. But instead, he and this lady have an argument, and first thing he does is go in and beats her while she in bed. So I don't foresee him playing in the NBA this year. And we kind of had I had kind of had the Rockets as kind of like a sleeper team coming to the season. Sign Fred VanVleet, sign Dylan Brooks. You look at the summer league, Robbie Smith, Cam Whitmore looked pretty damn good. Thompson, before he got hurt, he looked pretty decent. Throwing the scoring, Jalen Green, Kevin Porter. Houston may got something right there. The big man down low, his name escapes me at the moment, but all those factors right there, and plus with Coach Ime Yukata there, all that stuff, it kind of came in like a good situation. But dog, you can't be doing this stuff. And I know the girl, Lori, has come out and said, that she's not cooperating with the cops and don't want people to rush to judgment. But ma'am, I don't know what to say. You had to go to the hospital.
Right.
I don't know how y'all trying to spin this. Yeah,
I mean, now she's trying to cooperate, or she doesn't want to cooperate. She doesn't want them to do the research, and put more onto what is going on. But all of this stuff is already out.
Yep.
So, I'm understanding that, you just want to, I guess, not have it, not anymore be, I guess, exposed or whatever. But this is life. This is things that need to be discussed. So, not wanting to corroborate this is, I, no, I'm not sure if that's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I it's like women in these situations, they're back in the corner. They're like, if I backtrack and make the situation better for him, I'll be okay. Like, no, 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 ma'am. This is your chance to get away from him. This is your chance to get away from him in a situation. Get yourself back to health and live your life. Don't worry about him. Let him fight his own battles and demons. You know? And, when my little girl gets a little older, D-Lock, I got in my mind, she going to sign up for at least, I don't say self-defense classes, but hell, at least mixed martial arts classes or something. Because way things going on in this world and stuff like that, I at least want to have her prepared to whoop some ass if it comes down to it. Or at least know she can handle her own.
Correct. And that's just, like I said, it's sad that we have to worry um, about these type of things. Like I said, it's sad to hear, man. It really is. Uh, at this point, basketball is something that needs to be like on the back end of his life right now. He definitely needs to get some help.
Also, before we go on to our next subject, I just find it odd that these beat waters and stuff like that, like Shams, Woj, Chris Haynes, where you want to choose, they didn't really talk about this story. Like none of them tweet about it. I mean, I see Shams, he talked about like the Rockets trying to trade him and stuff like that. But nobody reported on him being arrested and stuff like that, which I find kind of odd. Every time like something like this, they'll be the first one to report, but they ain't say anything on it. So I thought that was kind of odd. Like, every time y'all would jump on anything, but you know, unless y'all didn't get clearance for somebody, but still, I just thought that kind of odd. Like, well, fellas, y'all gonna say anything? They're gonna let everybody else get the credit on this? Okay.
Right. I mean, usually you would think, you know, something so important uh, needs to be talked about. We see, these beat writers. As soon as somebody get traded, somebody get released, all that other type of news, they want to be the first ones to report. They want to be the first ones out and say. But this is kind of like they have not uh, came out and spoke about, or they're kind of dragging their feet with it. So I'm with you. I mean, it's very, very odd. Now, obviously, it looks terrible in the league, but this is just as important. It needs to be talked about as much as, the biggest star being traded or not wanting to go, possibly going somewhere else. Giannis comes out and says that he may not sign an extension, and they continue to tweet every detail about it.
Yep.
They want to talk about, the possibilities of where he may go, what Milwaukee may have to do, X, Y, and Z. But when this comes out, it's like they are not trying to, do this research. Now, obviously, it is a very touchy subject,
Yeah.
very sad and disturbing subject. But this is something that has to be discussed regardless.
Yeah, I was kind of honestly I'm disappointed. It was like, come on, fellas, let's be consistent here. Anyways, but we'll see what happens with Kevin Porter. Traded or not traded. I don't get the trade part because he could be in for like at least a season suspension for what he did. So I don't understand like why they trying to trade him if he's going to be suspended anyway. So we'll see what happens with Kevin Porter Jr. and all that good stuff. Like I said, he's a scumbag for what he did. So we'll see about that. On a lighter subject, D-Lock, the NBA Board of Governors, they voted on a new policy that a team is unable to rest two star players in the same game. Now, what some of y'all probably thinking, what that qualify? Star player is defined someone as who was made an All Star on an NBA team within the past 3 seasons. So, many league discussions over the past 1 to 2 years have centered around star players playing more and curbing load management. So, seem like all this kind of pointed at the Clippers. That kind of really glamorized it. I kind of think it's kind of started with Popovich, especially when Tim Duncan got got older and stuff like that, and he rested star players and all that stuff. And especially that time, the infamous time that he took, was it Duncan, Parker Ginobili, and Leonard? They flew back home and then they didn't play against Miami. God, what year was that? It was a regular season game early in the regular season too. And they flew back home and, against Miami, and then Miami won a game, but barely against the reserves. But I think Pop kind of started that stuff and kind of really just took it from there. D-Lock, what do you think of this new rule? I Do you think it's more of a owner thing that some of these owners kind of like, okay, if like Charlotte Hornets, for example, if LeBron and AD coming in town and they're resting, and a lot of people are expecting to see LeBron and AD, then some of these fans are probably disappointed about that, and then next time around probably won't show up for a Hornet game. Do you see like that? Some of these owners are hurting for money, or do you think these guys should be playing? What's your thoughts on this new rule?
Well, I think I think the owners do have a huge part in this. I mean, I think they're understanding that they see teams literally rest their players. You know, like we see, Kawhi, who rarely plays or picks and chooses when he plays, etc. But I think that also now it puts you in a situation where these games are going to matter, and like you said, the money is something that's something that is they've probably seen a big drop, you know, and the money that they could have been bringing in, especially when you have uh, people or athletes, players not playing. So I think that owners had a huge decision with this. It played a big part. But I think honestly, I'm not really too mad about this rule change. Um, we know how the NBA has been like this for years. You know, all of these games that you're doing a lot of traveling. You're sometimes having back-to-back games. So you have to prepare your body for it. And although you have some players where they kind of just water down the regular season for the playoffs. I think that plays a huge part and makes a big impact. I think I remember hearing somebody say, I think somebody put on Twitter before, they say, well, Kawhi Leonard, if he played a whole season, he would be an MVP uh, race, but he never is because he's never playing all damn season. So I think that if you could get some of these players to play a lot more, I think we see a much better league, more competitive games. But also now, I believe what does happen is there is a big possibility that we do see a few more, injuries, or we may see injury reports, of these little nicks and bruises of, it has to be serious injuries for these guys to sit. So to play a lot more, I think we're going to see a lot more competitive games, but uh, possibly more injuries. But that's also, like I said earlier, it's also about the players taking care of their bodies, and prepping for this type of season.
I think for me, it's just like I kind of get it, but but I hope some of the NBA recognize like some of these guys been legit hurt. You know, Paul George made a good point about Kawhi Leonard a couple months back. If Kawhi Leonard was like healthy, he'd be out there. And I think ever since Kawhi got injured years ago in that playoff series against Golden State when he fell on Zaza's leg, intentional or not intentional is up for debate. He has never been right since that time. I watched that time afterwards. The whole saga, with him and Popovich and Uncle Dennis, all that stuff. Then go watch his time in Toronto. How he moves, how he kind of runs with the gimp and stuff like that. He hasn't been right since the injury. Of course now gets to LA, he has the ACL injuries and stuff like that. I think I think he's been legit hurt. Yeah, it sucks that Kawhi Leonard don't play in your town, stuff like that. You know, it is what it is. Me personally, if I was a player, if my star player's out and if I'm right behind him in the depth chart, I'd be more than glad to take the opportunity to showcase my talents. But that's just me thinking, selfishly there. I don't think the players really care too much, to be honest with you. I think, like I said, it's like a more of an owner thing, like you mentioned, like the money situation. I said on X/Twitter, some of these owners must be hurting or something to kind of get this push along. Because I don't think the players are crying about it. I think the only people who are really crying about it, like some of these fans, knucklehead fans and stuff like that. But like I said, Paul George's been hurt. You know, and I think the NBA got to be careful because you don't want come next collective bargaining agreement that some of these players. Well, I hope they have more fight next time around. These guys don't fight back. Say, hey, you want us to play and stuff like that, and some of these guys really hurt, and then they're getting longer extended injuries. What y'all gonna do about that? So yeah, they can define all they want, but we'll see how it goes. But say for example, D-Lock, if the Warriors out of playoff contention, You know, they ain't gonna make the playoffs. They be in the draft lottery, all that good stuff. Why am I playing Steph Curry and Klay Thompson out there against the Oklahoma City Thunder? Why risk that? You know, same thing in Denver. You know, Jokic. I got the top seed locked up again. You know, by 10 games. Why I can't sit Jamal Murray and Jokic at the same time? I probably can because Murray don't qualify under this, but get my point. So it's just like, you know, kind of being too picky just to be too picky. But I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like I said, for me, it is a owner's move. Money is a big thing, and like I said, I understand that there are games that you are going and expecting to win, and to say, well, hey, this is this matchup is going to be pretty simple, but now they have these now this in season tournament, some of these games are going to be even more valuable. Um, a lot of times, we see different uh, different games, but now you have a lot of games that would be nationally televised, and they may have where we want to see all these stars. There are possibly some games where we don't see them. So, like I said, this is definitely something that is new, that is different. I'll say this and leave it. I definitely seen the picture of Kawhi and Paul George. Somebody was saying that Kawhi was going to have an issue if with Paul George, trying to see who was going to be sitting out. So it's going to be interesting to see how this impacts this regular season.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't know if you watched Colorado State game last night, but they showed Kawhi Leonard at the game.
Oh yes.
So he was there in Colorado. You know, so hopefully everything's good. He's out and about, all that stuff. He was standing. He had to be standing a good while because I mean you ain't got no seats on that sideline like that. But if he's standing good, hell, that game went for some damn long, about 3-4 hours. I think he should be good to go. So hopefully, like I said, these guys come in good health. And I hope the league also got to recognize too. You can't. I mean, these guys are hurt. You can't pressure them. Like Giannis, he had his knee procedure. A while back. We don't know how he's gonna come back for that. And he's a guy that depends on his athleticism and stuff like that to carry him in his play. So, oh hell, and also Ben Simmons.
Yep.
What the hell is his health gonna be like? So it's gonna be real interesting how they, some of these teams go about it. And they gotta be real smart about it too. And I think I think before I get off the subject, I think these owners kind of they try to play a double-edged sword. It's like they know these players want their money, and meaning, the contracts and all that stuff, the incentives. Like you make an All-Star team, you get this incentive. All NBA, you get this incentive, all that good stuff. So they kind of know that with some of these guys, but some of these guys really care like that. Like I said the thing before we got on the air to you, that Jaren Jackson, if he has another season as a defensive player of the year, he's eligible for a supermax of over $300 million.
Oh my God.
Yeah, y'all heard that right. Jerry Jackson's is eligible for over $300 million max contract with the Grizzlies if he wins Defensive Player of the Year again. Now, of course, tax is gonna eat that shit up, but y'all get our point. So, that's incentive for Jerry Jackson to play at least 70 games. It's gonna be a lot of incentives out there. Hell, John Morant, he gonna miss core of the season, and they're gonna take him
A
out
lot of money.
a lot, and a lot of money, and take him out at probably potential of all NBA considerations, depending on how he come out and play stuff like that. But he's a guy that missed time with injuries as well. So it'll be really seeing, who plays, what not, who cares like that, what teams don't give a damn, all that good stuff. So we'll see. But I do want to shout out to the chat. Shout out to y'all guys listening, guys and gals listening right now. Larry B, Adam Carnick. Shout out to Taryn Rodriguez in the chat. I appreciate the kind words, sir. I know things didn't go right for your Chargers. I thought, hell, when they got up 11-0, I thought they were going to put the hurt on the Titans. So I thought that was going to happen. But good game between the Chargers and the Titans today. And also, Taryn, a lot of Titans fans said a lot of positive things about y'all Chargers fans at Nissan Stadium today. So they seem like they good people, the Chargers fans. But D-Lock, we're here to preview the NBA season. The NBA season tips off next month. But here on Fast Break, here on IEA Sports Radio, for the past several years, on this show, we have done our season preview series like this. We go by division each Sunday leading up to the tip-off of the regular season. How we go about this, if you're new to listening to this, it's simple. Well, kind of simple. We kind of look at divisions like this. We look at the record from last year. And then we look who they drafted and who they signed in free agency. And we kind of like go about like, okay, can this team be better? Are they in the same hole? Are they going to be some same situation? Coaching is a factor as well. Can a new coach, take a new team places, retread, all that type of stuff. Injuries play a factor. So all those factors come about. And this time the Southeast Division come up again. Because if you look at this division, you got at least 3 young teams that probably won't make the playoffs, but I'm banking on one to make the playoffs. Another team that could be the worst team in the league. Granted, yes, you got the Eastern Conference champions in this division, but can they repeat? All that good stuff. And then you got the Hawks. Quinn Snyder's there. He's a great coach. He can get the most out of his players. He never had like a star cowboy player like this, and Trae Young as well. So what's he going to do with that? So we're going to start with the Southeast Division. And then at the end of the broadcast, we'll reveal what division we're doing next. But D-Lock, I'll let you go off first. 5-1 Southeast Division, our NBA preview series. Who do you got at number 5?
Starting off this Southeast division is, you have a few teams that should be pretty decent, and just there's a couple that could shake up a few things as well. Obviously, the East, the conference is totally different than the West. I'll start off with my number 5 being the Washington Wizards.
Ooh.
I know they got Tyus Jones, Jordan Poole, Kyle Kuzma, obviously back with a deal. Gafford, no. They traded away Porzingis, who seems to be just being traded every couple of years. But I think this team is a fairly young team. I think Jordan Poole is going to be the leading guy for this team. I just don't see them being very, very competitive in this division. I do like Kyle Kuzma as well. I just feel like this team may be kind of, trying to figure a few things out, and it's going to take them, this season. I do see them being in a lot of high-scoring games, though, definitely. But now without Porzingis there, you're probably going to see a hell of a lot more of Gafford. Did make the move for Muscala, but they're loaded at the guard position. Because you still got Johnny Davis, who actually came on a little bit later on in the season last year. So I definitely think, with those the guard play is going to be pretty decent, but they're going to be lacking a lot, down low in the center and power forward position. Number 4, I have Charlotte Hornets.
Interesting. Okay.
LaMelo Ball, going to get Brandon Miller. I like, what this team has. But man, to be honest, man, they got a lot of shit going on over there. And I cannot put them to be consistently competitive in this division. It seems as if with one thing, something else happens. And again, you have the guard position is set up with a Terry Rozier, LaMelo Ball. Theo Maladon can come in. Brandon Miller can play the 3, bump up to the 2 if needed. But for me, just a lot of stuff, man. I mean, just Ty Jones situation, hell, Bridges situation, and then we know what Gordon Hayward is. He's healthy and then he's not healthy. This team is just a mess. So I don't think that they're gonna be. I think they'll still continue to be. I think LaMelo will still be that all-star, candidate as he will be. But I don't see them being very competitive in the Southeast Division. This is where it gets interesting. Number 3. This may be a little biased, but I have the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Trae Young, DeJounte Murray is a very good, piece. He still got DeAndre Hunter, Sadiq Bey, and Jalen Johnson and AJ Griffin. My thing is they need to figure out what the hell they're gonna do at the center spot with Clint Capella and Onyeka.
Yeah.
You have both of them sharing minutes. Like, just make up your mind what the hell gonna happen with that. I believe one of them needs to take a huge amount of minutes on this team. If they can, they could possibly be a hell of a lot better, but they're loaded at the guard position. Going to get, I believe they got Patty Mills. He's probably more of a, just better bringing in that veteran energy. I believe he was with DeJounte Murray also at one point. So, you're going to need to have good guard play against the Hawks, with the Hawks. Bogdanovich, we still talk about how he got paid all that money. He's still inconsistent. Injury is what definitely hurts him. So if he can play better, I think, the Hawks will be pretty decent, but they have to get their small forward position consistent, whether it's DeAndre Hunter, AJ Griffin, or Bogdanovich, or hell, even Sadiq Bey. So I have them at 3. Number 2, got the Orlando Magic. Okay, so you have your guards, you have your Jalen Suggs, Markelle Fultz, Franz Warner. Banchero made a huge difference last year. You go get Anthony Black, who I think is going to play a huge piece as well. It seems like getting Chuma probably wasn't a huge move. Like it seemed like a not a good pick. I'm not even going to talk about Jonathan. You already know how I feel about him. I believe that this team is going to take that huge step forward. I have them at 2 over Atlanta, not because Atlanta got any worse. I just feel like they're going to take that huge step this year, and I expect them to. You got your young core. You have your guards. This is the year Orlando needs to take that step forward.
I agree.
They don't take that step forward now. Mosley is probably going to get let go. And I hate to say that, but this is what I've seen over time with this franchise. So for me, you have your core of guys with Anthony Black. Jet Howard, I think he's going to play a big piece as well. I mean, getting Joe Ingles, I will see what happens with that. But, you got your Wendell Carter. Banchero is going to play a big role. Make the big jump. This is your chance to do that. Washington is going backwards. Charlotte has their issues. You have got a rookie of the year in Banchero. Franz Wagner just played great. I think doing summer basketball as well. He's taking a huge step. This is the time, Orlando. Magic fans, this is the chance for them to move forward and be in the playoffs. And number 1, I got the Miami Heat. Miami Heat are number 1. Jimmy Butler. My thing is, we're still trying to figure out what's going to happen with Dame. But clearly, it seems as if Dame says he only wants to go to Miami. That's the only destination that he wants to be at. It seems as if he's not going to report to camp or something. I've seen some tweets saying he may not report to camp unless he's traded to Miami. Not sure how true that is, but right now, just having a Jimmy Butler and the Bam, I think the Heat are already the best team in the Southeast Division. You add on somebody like a Dame, now you push this team to be a top 2, top 3 in the East. I'm hoping that this deal gets done soon. Still trying to figure out what pieces they're going to give up to get this done. That's probably something that they're continuously trying to figure out. But I think that he has this division wrapped up. So, for me, like I said, Washington at 5, Charlotte at 4. It's very tough at that 3, but I have Atlanta at 3, Orlando at 2, Miami at the top.
All right. For me, this division is like this. It's like the past few years we've been doing this show, this basketball show. It seems like year in, year out, it's been consistently Atlanta and Miami's division. We talk about the Wizards and stuff like that. And, we always talk about, Bradley Beal, how long he's gonna stay there and stuff like that. Can he lead his team to promised land, whatever, with John Wall? That never materialized. the Hornets, they seem like with Jordan at the helm, it's been stuck in neutral. The multiple lottery picks, coaches, stuff like that, bad signings has kind of put this team in a bad place. Your Orlando Magic, kind of similar in the same way, but it always kind of been like bright spots here and there and good play, but it just never had that star player to kind of take you over the hump. Like past star players that y'all had in your organization, like a Shaq, Penny Hardaway, Tracy McGrady. I could throw in Grant Hill, but that never really worked out. Dwight Howard, Hedo Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis, Jameer Nelson, those guys. And after that little run, kind of been on the rut. But I saw my 5 like this. Number 5, I got the Charlotte Hornets. This may be the worst team in the NBA. Let me start at the very, very top. Michael Jordan sold his stake of the team to the people he does business dealings with because allegedly, Michael Jordan, when all that stock stuff got happening with GameStop, AMC, all that good that jazz there, allegedly Michael Jordan was caught up in that stuff, so much so that he owes a lot of money. And to get out of his debt, quote unquote, he sold the team to pay that debt off. Now, is that a good thing for this team? I don't know. Because with Michael Jordan at the helm and ownership, this team was going nowhere. We can argue who's the greatest basketball player to ever live: Michael Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Bill Russell, whoever, till we're blue in the face. But as an owner, decision maker like this, he was trash. And maybe it's a good thing, maybe not. I don't know. But you still got Mitch Cupcake there. So he's still making decisions. And we talked about a while back about bad signings with our teams and stuff like that. So there goes that. But I got them number 5. I got a starting lineup of with Ball at the point. I got Miller at the 2 guard. I think you can't have him going no lower than 3. If you got him at the 4, you playing very small and you play catch up or you taking advantage of the situation in the game. But you got to have Brandon Miller at the 2 guard position. Hayward at the 3, Bridges at the 4, and Mark Williams at center. It means you bring out P.J. Washington, Terry Rozier, Martin as your first 3 guys off the bench. Another point for me, D-Lock, on the Hornets. The coaching stinks. We talked last year. I wasn't a fan to see Clifford getting a job again. I know Kenny Atkinson backed out, but damn. You going back to what didn't work years ago? Like nobody else wanted that job. I'll take that damn job. The NBA coaching job, I'll take that shit. But like nobody else wanted that job. Not a Becky Hammond. Not a who's another nice young assistant out there? Can't think of the person's name, but there's like a whole bunch of assistants out there clamoring for NBA job. And you go back to Steve Clifford. And the reason I bring, ladies and gentlemen, the reason I bring about the coaching, I watched some of that stuff in summer league, and the way they were using some of their players is just god awful. Like as an Alabama fan, just trying to watch Brandon Miller, the way they had him play those first couple games out in Sacramento, it was god awful. Now his play got better when he got to Vegas and stuff like that, but it's just like, God, like if Steve Clifford gets fired midway in the season, I don't want nobody else in that bench to kind of take over. And if you're a Charlotte fan out there, uh, the coaching don't give you much hope. And also, so on Brandon Miller's subject, I know you. I don't know. You know this D-Lock on the whole gun thing. To update people on that situation. The dude. Here's how things are right now, D-Lock. I don't know if Brandon Miller is going to be called to testify or not. From what I read last month, the dude who's with the girl that got killed, unfortunately, he's nowhere to be found. He's in the wind. Reason why? He may have had a hand in the death of the girl, and he's in the wind. And they subpoenaed that guy a couple times, and he didn't show up to court once. And the defense for Darius Miles and the other dude is partnered with him, trying to push for a self-defense thing. So there you go. And if he ain't showing the court, they trying to push for self-defense. Brandon Miller might not be needed at all in Tuscaloosa County to testify. Maybe, maybe not. But if you're a Hornets fan, you listening to this, I don't have the articles in front of me, but y'all can look it up through Google, X, whatever. You look that up. So, can y'all give y'all ease of mind how that situation went? Yes, Brandon Miller unfortunately brought that gun to Darius Miles in that situation. Yes, it was stupid. But, there's like kind of layers to that situation. So there's that right there. But anyways, so I think depends how that goes. If that goes away, I think Miller will have a clear conscience of mind to play well. And also one more thing before I go to my next team. Gordon Hayward's on an expiring contract. Terry Rozier is next year is expiring in 2025. Can they flip those two guys for assets down the line? We talk about the health of Gordon Hayward on this show. Can he be healthy enough to kind of the Hornets to flip him to get assets somewhere and get that money off the books? So I got the Hornets at 5. It's just, like you mentioned, and also like you mentioned, like they're a hot mess. Kai Jones, on Instagram Live, bugging out. PJ Washington's baby mama just tripping over the internet for days. Thank you, PJ. LaMelo, he got the contract extension, but we'll see how that goes with him. But yeah, like you mentioned, the Hornets are a hot mess right now. Young team, hot mess. 4. I got the Washington Wizards. I got to start a lineup of Tyus Jones. Could be Deleon Wright, but I wouldn't Tyus Jones here if they're trying to compete early. Jordan Poole, Kuzma at the 3. Afaja at the 4, and Gafford at center. They finally hit the reset button when Bradley Beal traded him away. Granted, I wish they kind of get like a first round pick out of it, but they didn't. They got the salary off the books, so that's a win in itself. And getting Porzingis off your books as well, that's a win as well. So a lot of money got cleared out after trading those two guys away. I wonder, D-Lock, and this is kind of like a challenge to Jordan Poole. I wonder if he can average 25 games this season. I do wonder that they probably get the free reign to a point, but I wonder if he can average 25 games a season. Just for this season. I don't think he'd be like doing it for the rest of the career, but I think it's like a challenge to Jordan Poole. Like, can you average 25 games this season? Now, I know it's going to be kind of hard because you got Kuzma who like to take his shots as well. But I think it's not a nice little challenge for Jordan Poole. Can he be that lead scorer for this team? Can they establish that early with this squad? And also for the other young guys, CRISPR, Davis, and the rookie they drafted, the French kid, I forgot his name at the moment. Can they be big contributors to show potential down the road for this team? So that's another question. And I think Daniel Gafford, he's got to have a big year. If this team's going to compete, he's at least got to be a double guy. I think he has the potential to. In today's NBA, is not a big man with size like that. He's a tough individual down there. So, my challenge to him also, Daniel Gafford, can you be a double guy for this team? I think he got it in him. Ain't no much big man depth behind him. So, the ball's in the court to be that dude in the middle. So I got the Wizards at 4. Number 3, your Orlando Magic.
Oh.
But with your Orlando Magic, I expect them to make the playoffs this year. If put the injuries behind them, I'm not saying guys don't get hurt. I got to start a lineup of Fultz, Suggs, Wagner, Banchero, and Carter. I think if Jalen Suggs, it's kind of been like a rough go of it for the past couple years since he's been in the league. I wonder if this team can take the next leap. If they can, it'll be a scary team to watch. Wagner has come along great ever since he's been in the league. You can see the improvement each year. Banchero has shown that he could be a number 1 option for this team. And I do wonder if he didn't get hurt early in the year last year, what this team record will look like towards the end of the year. Could they make the playoff tournament? I do wonder about that. So they got to make a push for the playoffs. If Banchero stay healthy, Wagner continue to play well. If Anthony Black can play very well behind folks, they'll go a long way for this team. Cole Anthony's still there. He'll get good minutes off the bench. As well. Jonathan Isaac is still there. if he can
Man, just leave. I don't know what the hell going on with that man.
if he can if they can keep him, I mean, if he can stay focused on basketball and get his team something defensively, that'd be great. You know, I always thought they should have shipped them off. Just because the injuries and stuff like that. But I mean, if they're gonna try to keep him around, I mean, I'm telling this dude, hey man, focus here. What you do outside of here, fine to a point, but focus here on the court. Number 2, the Atlanta Hawks. I got a lineup of Young, Murray, DeAndre Hunter, Bogdanovich, and Capella. Bogdanovich had a great FIBA World Cup. Played very well. Scored very well, all that stuff. Now, when he's healthy, he's pretty damn decent. Good. But it seems like it's few and far between that he's been pretty healthy. And each year he says he's been with the Hawks, his games played has gone down. And you were flabbergasted when he got that contract extension. I thought, the last year of that deal, he didn't play much. And I thought they were gonna let him walk. But they didn't. And I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? Because now you got like guys like Sadiq Bey in the fold, AJ Griffin. So you got at least those two guys there. You can let him walk. But I got him to start a lot because Quinn Steiner liked his European guys. They finally got rid of John Collins after being trade rumors for the past 3 years. I think, the center position for them, I think, is pretty good. I know you alluded to that, but, it's good to have that depth there, to say the least. But I think it comes down to Murray's and Young's consistency. How they going to look in Quinn Snyder's system? That's my question. I mean, yeah, we saw a little bit of it, but fully integrated, all that good stuff, all that, training camp, all that stuff, things to work out, kinks, all that good stuff. How does Trey Young get along with Quinn Snyder? Because it didn't have. I mean, that relationship with Nick McMillan kind of waned. Same thing with Larry Drew. So, can Trey Young get along with Quinn Snyder? That's the ultimate question right there. So I got the Hawks at number 2. Number 1, the Miami Heat. The current Eastern Conference champs. They had a great run to the NBA Finals. Of course, they fell short of winning the title to the Denver Nuggets. I got to start a lineup with them of, Lowry, Caleb Martin, Robinson, Butler, and Adebayo. They did lose key contributors like Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. Vincent going to the Lakers, Strus going to the Cavaliers. So does that hurt their depth of rotation? Lowry's a year older. Who you got behind him? You really, while looking at this roster of this team, you really don't got nobody like that. Tyler Hero should be good to go, healthy to start the season. Can Duncan Robinson, improve on his play? You see, like the Heat keep on giving him chances to be a good D3D player, but he just falls for expectations and he gets DMPs on like a string of games unless they really need him. But I think for me, do they get the deal done for Damian Lillard? I don't know when they get it done for Lillard, but I think it gets done, D-Lock. And, you know, I think I posted on Twitter X a while back, you probably throw in Lowry, Jamie Jaquez, that rookie drafted Jokic from last year, a couple first round picks. If you got, I know they don't want to give a Caleb Martin, but it seems like you got to get rid of Caleb Martin to get this done. If you can do that, that'd be great. But it seems like in these trade, in the trade trying to get Damian Lillard, like Caleb Martin's kind of been like a hiccup in getting the deal done. And I know he's a key contributor down, for the playoffs, stuff like that. And I always say he should have got the Eastern Conference MVP. But if Lillard can push off the top for a title, you had to make that move. And there's a good quality wings out there that can replace him. Kelly Oubre's still out there, for example. The buyout market come like late January, February. If whether Gordon Hayward's available around that time. If he gets bought out. So, can the Heat return to the Eastern Conference Finals? Maybe. Maybe. I got at least making the second round. Could a return trip to the Eastern Conference Finals happen? Sure. But all kind of depends on Giannis's health with his knee. Cleveland, can they take the next step? Do we get surprise team elsewhere that pops up? What about the Knicks? Do they kind of take a little step forward or they take a step back? The Nets are gonna come down a little bit. The Celtics, they made some moves. We'll talk about them down the line, but I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot how they went about the offseason. So there's a good chance Miami could get back to the finals. A good chance they don't. Also, one more thing about Miami, I'll let you in. The lack of size. Like, look at the roster. The lack of size is kind of haunting. I know they signed Thomas Bryant, but he's not much of a defender like that. Zeller, they brought in for the playoff stretch. I'm kind of surprised they didn't bring him back. They could bring him back in, but still, I thought they'd get a deal done in the summer, but it didn't happen. So that's who I got at number one. So recap for me, I got the Hornets 5, Wizards 4, Magic 3, Hawks 2, Miami 1. With the Magic, Hawks, and Heat making the playoffs.
Yeah, that'd be something. If so, like I said, we're very similar in those order. I just think that again, to your point with the Heat, they need some more size. This Dame situation is going to dictate a lot as well. But very, and we'll talk about other teams in different divisions, other trade, opportunities and options. But I definitely see those three teams uh, in the playoffs. So, yeah, Magic fans, y'all here. This is our chance. We both did a little bit of growing now. Got, another good core, young group. Let's make this push.
And one more thing on Miami. If they do the trade with Portland, and if you're Portland, you basically trying to rebuild on instead of tear down all that stuff, you got to throw in Joseph in there as well. If you're going to trade Dame, you got to trade that dude as well. And I know they trying to ask for Bam back, all that good stuff, and bump all that. Get rid of if you get rid of the big contract, get rid of him. Joseph, when he's healthy, he's a fine player, but let's be real, that's been few far between. So you can get clear off Dame's money and that money right there that he's owed. Just send it down to Miami. That'll be perfect. And I think, with that for Miami, you get the big man in the middle. So if you happen to make it back to the NBA Finals against Denver, for example, you got that big man to kind of match up with Jokic, along with Bam Adebayo with him there defensively. And then you kind of knock everybody down up a peg. And you kind of match up better with Miami, with Denver in a sense, if y'all were to meet up again. So that's something to think about there. If they do get the deal done with Portland, I hope it's get done soon because, you can't have like these guys focus. You can't have these guys like, Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero being these trade rumors, and the rookies, for example, who are like getting settled in Newtown, and that's hey, y'all getting traded. Okay. So before these guys get really settled in these new places, get this deal done and get everybody acclimated before the season starts. That's the main thing for me. Get this deal done before the season starts. Round training camp would be more appropriate because you're not really settled in like that. But once the season starts, it's us getting traded in the middle of the season. Now we've seen like videos and stuff like that. Like these guys get traded in the middle of the season, they be in the locker room, nervous and stuff like that. And then, they got to pack up their stuff and head out to the next, the new team. You got to leave your apartment, house, whatever. You got to trust somebody to send some stuff to you. It sucks. So hopefully it gets done here soon. But I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah. Like I said, it's going to take a while. Remember, I said this a while back. I said this a long time ago. I said, I'm not sure when this trade is going to happen. And again, now they're trying, I guess, regain talks. The season is about to start soon. So things need to get done quickly. Because if not, you're going to go into the season and now you have, it's going to confuse a lot of players on, the respective teams right now as far as what's going on, if they're going to stay or they're going to leave. You want to build that chemistry with your team as soon as the season starts. So I hope they get this deal done ASAP.
Yeah, that's for sure. And shout out to the guys in the chat. Marcus Los, great in the chat. How you doing tonight, sir? Larry B, saying, agree, stay focused, good choices. That's for sure. What's in on this, D-Lock? The WNBA playoffs have begun on September 13th. The first set of games that happened right there, you had the Sun beat down the Lynx 90-60. And then you had the Aces who I watched that game fully, they beat down the Sky 87-59. It's like that was just a straight beat down. And in watching that game one, the Sky. Here's the thing with the Sky, were doing well in the first quarter. When they slowed the game down, they were fine. Driving the paint, dumping it off to the for the post players down low. You draw Asia Williams away from the paint. You got those easy baskets and stuff like that. They were doing fine. They're in contention and stuff like that. They weren't getting beaten badly, but once they got in some reason for whenever they got in these fast break situations, the Sky did. And then point guard, what's that girl's name? Want her? No, want her? Yeah, Courtney Williams. It's in there. Courtney Williams sometimes get the ball on a fast break. She was just take some wild shots and stuff like that, or she'll miss somebody out on the wing, and it was like a bad shot or from her or somebody else. Next, Aces rebound. They run up the floor, gunning Kelsey Plum. Took advantage of her shots. Young took advantage of hers. He had 13 off the bench for Clark. I was like, damn, this is like this bad fast break play from the Sky, bad shots, and then you trying to get in the transition race with the Aces, and that's doomed from the start. And then you come game 2 today, and Asia Wilson had 38 points and 16 rebounds on them.
My God.
And Cooper, for Chicago, she showed up for 25, but Williams 5 points, 5 fouls. Mayberry 12 points. You got 22 points off the bench for Evans. And you figured, somebody got 25 starting, 22 off the bench. You figured they will be in contention for a win, but that didn't happen. They lose by 22 points. And shout out to Drewski in the chat. How you doing tonight, sir? I saw you at the we saw your videos at the Cowboys game. I know y'all happy being 2-0. But anyways, 38 points for Wilson. 14 off the bench for Clark. So I knew Las Vegas would sweep them, but I thought Chicago at least play a little bit better and kind of slow the game down. But it really didn't happen like that. So, and then they, each team had like 15 turnovers apiece, but Las Vegas have the better players, so there's that. And then to kind of keep along with these two series, the Lynx, they pick up a big win today. They beat the Sun 82-75. So this series tied 1-1. Going back to Connecticut, Collier had 26 points, 13 rebounds for her. 0 for 3 for three-point land. Got to forget about the 3-point shot. McBride had 28 points for the Lynx, so to help them lead the victory against the Connecticut Sun. And I always thought like the Sun like this. The Sun, they had a puncher's chance to make the WNBA Finals, but if they're gonna struggle like this, and they're gonna be matched up with either Las Vegas or New York, you probably stick a fork in them. Because I think it's best like to get past the Lynx fast you can, rest up against the Aces, presumably, and then maybe you could do something. But if you're gonna struggle like this against the Lynx, then you're gonna struggle against the other two strong teams. And then go to Friday's games real quick. The Liberty took care of business against the Mystics 90-75. Elena Del Don, only 11 points for her. That's gotta be better Monday if they got any chance to win a game in this playoff series. At the end, 29 points from Sabrina. Brianna Stewart is 10 points for her. 0 for 4 for 3-point land, that gotta be better. And then you got 20 and 12 from Jonquel Jones. So, and then you got Drewski bringing up the Wings, 94-82 over in Atlanta in Game 1 on Friday. Drewski was at that game as well, which I think we'll talk about on the show. 36 points from Howard, from the Dream, but that wasn't enough, to counter Sabali's 32 points. And then also you got double from McCowan, 17-14 for her, 24 points for Amuyu Aju Bole. I'll get the name right. Excuse me. But three players in double figures there. That's going to get the job done for Dallas. And like I said, they played Tuesday. Excuse me. So we got that on the WNBA playoffs. D-Lock, who do you foresee before we got there making the WNBA finals?
Like I said, I think that this has been one of the better seasons that we've seen in like a long time. And teams have been very consistent. But definitely watch out for the Aces. I definitely like them. But Liberty has been playing extremely well also. And I think that, if they can get, things going with the group they have, I think that they could be one of those teams that, could be, in the final, especially with Brianna Stewart. When she gets to cooking, she'll be, one of the better players, and Sabrina as well. But they have been known to put up a hell of a lot of points over time, and I just like the fact that, like I said, them going against the Mystics, starting out that round one, they put up 20 plus, every quarter. So that shows the consistency that they're bringing with their players, and to have damn near three players in putting up 20 points, with Jaquel Jones with 20 and Sabrina with what she did, and I can't even hard to say her name, Benija, being right on the borderline on there with 19. Like I said, I think that this team is one of the ones that definitely can show and make some noise.
Yeah, like I said, I still think we're just buying time till we see the inevitable matchup between New York and Las Vegas. So I think we're just kind of buying time for that. I'm pretty sure the next round will be a lot better competition wise. If Connecticut and Dallas finish out this series, and we get those matchups there. But like I said, I think we're still buying time for Las Vegas and New York to play in the WNBA finals. And probably one of the better WNBA finals we've seen in a very, very long time. Very long time.
The Aces, they've been having a hell of a season as well. So, like you said, that matchup looked like it's very much going to happen in my mind. And I think it'd be one very interesting as well.
So we'll leave it on that note. Like I said, follow us on Twitter at FastBreakISR. You get the latest news and opinions on the WNBA playoffs. Also, other news going around the world of basketball as well. But this has been our show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in with us. It's great to be back on the airways. Like I said, we didn't want to, be when the NFL's on a popping like that. Everybody's talking about it, and we get lost in the sauce like that. But it's great to be back on the air tonight. We'll be back next week previewing. Drum roll real quick. We'll be previewing I got it right here. The Northwest Division. So that's Denver, Utah, OKC, Portland, Minnesota. So come next week, ladies and gentlemen. They about 5-1. Who's the worst to the first in that division? So get your minds thinking. Come next week, bring it to the chat, and we'll discuss it here live on the show. Who y'all think could be worst to first in that division? But D-Lock, how can people find you on social media?
You guys found me at Black-813. I'll definitely be talking about my Bucks being 2-0, which is shocking. But that and the Magic, big season coming up. Let them know they can find you at the show's page.
Like I said, find the show's page at FastBreakISR. That's FastBreakIESR. Do check out IESportsRadio.com for all your latest shows, news, and feeds. A lot of new networks on the show. A lot of the new shows on the network right now. So do check out the website, and you get all your latest news and feeds there. I do have another Twitter account, Spawn4288. That's Spawn4288 on Twitter /X. I do have a show on the side called The Quicks Process. You can find that show on TikTok, and Instagram, and Facebook. Just look up the CP logo. You see it there. I did drop a video on TikTok. Should be dropping on Instagram here soon. Talk about my Tennessee Titans and all that good stuff. But till then, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, Northwest Division next week. We talking about that and WNBA playoffs and any other news that comes about within the week. But till then, we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.